wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I give up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo!
Alright, my friends, here we go. I always have to do the window capture, a little bit of zoom zoom. And there we go, there's our little bit of zoom zoom. How come this is all messed up, Bows? Come on now. This is all cock-a-la-cock. Why do we got cock-a-la-cock here? Okay, I don't know. I must have been fooling. Was I fooling with this? Let's just move it around a little bit till it makes sense, buddy. Just move it around till it makes sense. And how come this? Boom. There's a little bit better. We're about to see if this makes sense. I don't know. Let's go look. We'll look at view all. We'll just take a look at how this bad boy looks. Skebix asks, how's life post 800? Oh, life's good, buddy. I'm a champion now, dude. I'm a champion of the battlefield. That's what it's like, buddy. I'm the champ. Let's put a light on here. Okay. Alekine's cat. That's a pretty good one. So useful, this structure, to feel that you are making progress. The relief of not having to trailblaze my own path is real. It's encouraging to see how much care has gone into shaping the process. Even in its early stages, it offers just enough guidance to move forward with confidence and focus. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. This is Alekine's cat. And Alekine's cat is in the wrong cohort. Okay, Alekine's cat, you're in the wrong cohort, bud. So, yeah, you need... Buddy! You're in the wrong cohort, man. You're way up top. So, yeah, fix that. But I'm happy you're here, Alekine's cat. All right, Damon doesn't say anything. Let's go click into Damon. Damon is truly in the right cohort. 316. Also, 412, Lee Chess. Has done a little bit of tactics. We're going to guess he's just here and probably doesn't have any games yet. Unfortunately, I have to click this twice. No games yet. So, Damon, welcome to the dojo. And, oh, you know what? Ooh. Wait a second. I gotta write them again. I still need a new template for the grad show, allowing for the new large space. Okay, so that's why the template's all messed up, because it's got to get captured, Bows. That's why. Okay, so what are we gonna do, Bows? We got to figure this out. Template is just, we got to get rid of the template. Boom, we're getting rid of it. And then we got to make this thing bigger because we got to see it, Bows. We got to be able to see all this stuff. Maybe make this smaller. Yeah, that's why it's all messed up. Let's see, that's why it was looking like the way it was looking. I don't like it any more than you do. Okay, so Damon. Oh, this is going to be terrible. Until I asked DM last time, and he didn't do it. So, all right, there's DM. There's DM. There's Damon. He's a little bit like a DM. Welcome to the dojo, Damon. All right, so we'll get back over here. And next up, we have August. And August says, thanks a lot. Okay, let's go open this link. And let's just see what it looks like, too, over here. See, I want to capture that wide view. Beautiful, right? Now, unfortunately, I can scroll down and stuff. But I can't. Okay, Cry. We're going to try one thing before we lose our mind. See, how come... God, this makes me angry. How come I can't... Oh, it won't let me scroll. It won't make me move this down. It's a big jerk face. I can move it up, but I don't want to move it up. Why is that? No one knows. Oh, see, I can move it up, but it's not going to let me move it down. Why? I can make it like that. It's pissing me off unbelievably. I don't know why. I could spend hours here trying to figure this out. Okay. DM, I need a new template. Bows. Mr. Bows, I need a new template. Okay. All right, so. Looks awful a little. It kind of looks awful, but that's what it is right now. So, Auguste, let's go look. You got some clubs, buddy? Oh, he's in the French club. That's a nice French name. Okay, we got some games. Boom. No games. So similar, well, he's been here for a couple months, and we'd hope he'd get a game in. So hopefully he'll get there. Hopefully he'll get there. Hasn't done any games analysis, been focusing on the tactics. Okay, we'll continue. Enroque. So let's go check out Enroque. Amateur, if you need a partner for... There we go, yeah, great. Joined a little while ago, and you can see that Enroque has really been going for it. See, there's his amazing heat map over here. Oh, yeah. Dude, Enroque just got here, and he is slaying. He is slaying, so this is really great. And as you can see from his rating graph, join the dojo, buddy. You're going to start flying up. So here he is. Maybe it's no clubs. Does he got some games in here? No games. Oh, I have a beautiful coffee. Okay. So Enroque, you're crushing it, and the next task is, of course, for you to put in some game analysis, a pillar of the dojo. Next up, we have Cool Hand. Cool Hand has also made some good progress. Joined a while back, but kind of sporadically putting in their stuff. About to graduate again, and really been focused on the tactics. Let's go see clubs, games. We're getting some quick profile reviews. So, my friends, it is a pillar, one of the 3 pillars of the Dojo Training Program, to put your games in. I have a feeling Scott's got some games. Let's first read what he says. Yellow asks, how do you find a club to join? Well, you go over your clubs, and I would say there's all kinds of clubs, but I would say the first club to join is wherever you are. Wherever you are, see if there's a club for where you are. If there isn't, make a club for where you are. And then there's all kinds of other clubs too, which are mostly just fun, like the 50-plus club or something like that. The local clubs are more important because you might meet somebody you didn't know existed who you could work with. All right, Scott says, I'm excited to share that I'm graduating to the next belt in ChessDojo. Technically, I could have done this about 6 months ago, but at the time I didn't feel ready. I wanted to hit my rating goals on both ChessCom and Lichess first, and even had extra targets in mind, like my Lichess rating for Chessiverse. I don't know what Chessiverse is. Eventually, I realized I might be holding myself to an unnecessarily high bar. Programming has helped me a lot, and while I've grown in many areas, I've also learned to recognize when I'm being too hard on myself. One part of the program I've struggled with is reaching out to people I don't know to arrange games and post game reviews. It just feels a bit unnatural for me. Maybe that's the introvert in me talking. I understand the value of having a sparring partner, and I wish that came more easily. For now, I mostly enjoy playing against bots, which still gives me plenty of opportunities to practice and improve onward to the next stage. I think that's a very helpful feedback for us. We have, from the very beginning of the dojo, struggled with the social lubrication of helping people connect. And, we have the calendar, we have the Discord, so many different ways to do it. I appreciate, though, that that's difficult. I totally appreciate it. I do think since we started the dojo years ago, the bots have gotten a little bit better, so that's good. But for a lot of the sparring, the bots, of course, is not really what you want. But it is becoming more and more of a viable substitute. Okay, let's go check out Scott here. Boom. Here we go. You can see Scott was very busy a while back with the hectic tactics. He has done a lot of work. Yeah, he's looking great, dude. He's looking great. So you can see his epic rating, and he had this last jump. He was like, buddy, I got to graduate now. It's time to graduate, right? So, let's just think about this for a second. Yeah, so he'll graduate with another 70 points, 68 points. So that's great. Let's see clubs, Scott. Louisiana Dojo, 14 members, buddy. Skebix, I like what you're saying about the buddy system. Proofs is very much into that. Now, I just want to say we have 37 dev projects now. It seems like we get more rather than less. And our main dev guy is now just committed to improving our tactics trainer. So, and that's going to take at least a month. So he's like, dude, I'm not even messing with anything else. Yeah. So, Matt Chess says, on the user summary you were looking at, add the number of games in the My Games folder. Yeah, well, Matt Chess, that's been on our dev sheet forever. That's been on there for weeks and weeks and weeks. One hilarious thing I want to say about Louisiana Dojo. Oh, man. So, Naka, dude, has to play a couple games to be considered active enough for his rating to count. And he's like, I'll go play some lower rated players. And where he was really smart about it was he was like, okay, I got to go to a place where I'm not going to face any underrated Asian kids. And he's like, where can I go? Well, let's go to Louisiana, boss. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I just think it's hilarious that he dialed in the demographic and he's like, I don't want to play any of them kids. I'm going to Louisiana. I'm going to Louisiana. No underrated kids there, buddy. All right, let's go check out Scott. So we're going to go to My Games. And here we got a bunch. This is great. It's been a couple months since he's done it. I just want to make sure. Looks like they're all added 722. I just want to make sure. Yeah, this is looking great. So, I don't want to look at a bot though. Here's Juan Tactic. Is Juan Tactic a bot? A bot? Sounds a little bit like body. Let's do. Oh yeah, these are all. I think, dude, these are bots. Mikey Miss Fad and Dr. Wolf, Seamus O'Verse, Emily Pavney. Oh yeah, dude, these are bots that he's playing against. I've never reviewed a game with a bot. Oh, we have loads of underrated kids. Basically, all along the East Coast, West Coast, any big city, you're gonna have loads of kids. Okay, let's go take a look at this bot. No times were given. Again, you can bring in the times from the games when you play them online. Now, I gotta just do this real quick. This is Scott versus One Tactic. I've never reviewed a bot game. Let's go into it. So, fine. Poor. Mildly poor because we're bringing the queen. The queen is essentially developed now, and there's no easy way to mess with her. Good. Passive, but okay. Poor because the square d5 is now weak. Good move. Good move. And then this is poor. Not a developing move. You're still doing fine, but that's just not a developing move. Knight d5. We want you to develop one of your pieces. Or play maybe a4. Bishop f8, really? Thank you very much. One Tactic is clearly, not... Oh, One Tactic, buddy. Queen d5, mistake. Okay. So, with Queen d5, he misses... Well, it's funny. The computer doesn't really... clothe itself in glory or anything here, but rook a d1 looks correct, mundo. Queen d5. Maybe you could do queen d5, honestly, because bishop e6, we get a snip, and then he goes for this. Okay. h5, terrible move, no one knows. Good move. Okay. No one knows. I want you to play rook a d1. There we go. This bot is making random moves. Check. e5. Very nice move. Very nice. Ooh. Checkmate, One Tactic. So, just for my own sense, the thing about the bot that's interesting is like a human would make all kinds of mistakes, right? But it's not going to ever play bishop f8 here. That's just not something a human, I don't think, would do. But there you have it. There's one bot. Okay. Yeah, Graham Duras is talking about the Ohio State Championship and all full of underrated Asian kids. Naka was avoiding those kids, buddy. He's like, what state can I go to? Let's go to Louisiana. They haven't found that state yet. It is dangerous, by the way, what he did. He won all the games, so it looks like a genius move, and some people are complaining about it. I'm not really complaining about it. But, if he had drawn one of those games, it would have been a mild catastrophe for his rating. Or if he blew it. All right, so here we go. Grad show. I'm going to guess RF Rooster is not logging all their stuff. He's over here, 602. We got some clubs. Oh, yeah. These are some good clubs. Okay, good. The Bay Area, home of the dojo. We got some games. No games. It's a little soft on the games today, bud. A little soft. So, RF Rooster, we want to see some games. Want to see what's going on with your chess. Now we have Alfil Roberto. I love going back to books, Kindle in this case, instead of online puzzles, and playing a long classical game was really helpful to slow down and think. Yes, it is. Okay, here we go. Here is the alfil. The alfil is the bishop, a remnant of Arabic and Spanish, alfil. And we don't have too much. Joined very recently, though. So, no clubs and no games. Well, Alfil, welcome to the dojo. Yeah, and you'll have more tasks, and you'll have a game by the next time we catch up with you. All right, next up we got Rusty P. There's Rusty Nail, and then there's Rusty P. Rusty P is... He joined the dojo, buddy. He just went straight up. Also joined fairly recently. Let's see what's going on. Boom. Nothing. Do we got games? We got some games. All right. Bang. Uh-oh. So in order for this to really count as an annotation, we want to do more than that. Let's see if this next one has got some stuff. No. Right, we need more. We need more thought in our annotations. Okay, I'll do one more. Yeah, we need more. So if you're interested in what an annotation should look like, it doesn't have to be that intense, but you could look at, we have model game annotations. We also have a book called How to Analyze Your Games, featuring good annotations from every cohort. Okay, boom. Next up, we got King Go Night Night. King Go Night Night. You know, one funny thing about King Go Night Night is Shachmat. That's what it means, King Go Night Night. King gets killed. All right, here we go. This is my first graduation after being in the program for almost a year. Congratulations. For the past 3 months, I was grinding hard. Puzzles and annotating games became things that I started to enjoy rather than tasks that I just needed to do in order to improve. Chess has become ever more enjoyable and at times even more frustrating. The support and comments from others has also made all the difference. As far as the game review, please review my game with Mayur. I had a lot of great feedback from a lot of great members, but I'm looking for a simple way to play a middle game in what seems like complicated positions. Okay, now I just want to say some graduations are better than others. Okay, so if somebody's working at it forever, dude, and puts in 104 points of work, you know that this was a great struggle for them, one that they came to enjoy and grinded it out. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So, this is Kingo Night Night, a senior adult, neuropsychologist. Oh, this is interesting. Thank you for the bio, too. If I had a question for Kingo Night Night, I guess what would be interesting for me is I have a friend who is a retired psychiatrist, and he is of the strong opinion. He says the data supports this. I haven't seen the data yet. I'd like to do a Dojo Talks on it. Is it true that chess and things like that, we're using System 2 thinking, can stave off dementia? It's not going to prevent it, but does the data show that's going to stave it off? And is it part of your belief system that that's what you're doing? That would be interesting for me to know. All right, we've got some clubs, 50 plus, 168. And one thing about 50 plus and ADHD is when we were kids, that word didn't exist. so I think we'd call them a spaz back in the day. You know, we'd call them a spaz. We didn't really have that word, though. Now you can see their heat map looking good. Joined last year, but only started, took a break. And I think he mentioned the last 3 months truly grinding, and so this looks really impressive. Get some games going on. Here's the game with Meyer, so let's go. First, we're going to take a look at the time graph. Boom. Oh, and I got to fix the time graph almost surely. We'll go over here. This is Meyer. Okay. So what I want us to observe is our hero is playing black, and our hero did much better than his opponent in terms of using their time. Now, it could be that our hero lost on time in this game. And one of the challenges for the rating, the time management rating, is really with this, the lower cohorts are the only ones that use 30-0, right? And when you're at 30-0, there's no love at the end. So, I think the time management rating is a little challenged here, where he needed to be moving faster, right? But the main feature that we see again and again on the show is players at this level, their biggest struggle is moving too fast, making impulsive moves. So from a long-term chess improvement perspective, even though maybe Night Night lost on time here, I'm encouraged by the fact that he moved slowly. Okay, so here we go. Boom. Game review. You will play many players who, just aren't thinking at all, especially online. Okay. So G3, poor. It's not the end of the world, but it's poor because the bishop is already out. You made a pawn move to get it out. Poor, not a developing move. Poor, not a developing move. Poor, bringing the queen out early. And here you say D6, I think I'm a little bit better here. Yeah, absolutely. Now, as a general rule of thumb, we want to bust the position open when our opponent doesn't develop. So the move I want to be looking for is D5. Now, maybe D5 now, I might worry a little bit about that. So I might castle first and then play D5. Right? So just in general, your opponents will give you, they'll move too fast on the clock, and then they will also not develop. And when they don't develop, we want to open the position. The value of time increases when we open the position. I have two courses on this on Chessable. I have one called It's About Time and another one called Mastering Time in Chess. I use Dojo games to illustrate all of those, training examples. So, poor, G4. Yeah. And you play a nice and simple move, Bishop E6. Okay. Bishop E6 is, however, a little controversial because it's not clear what you're going to do on Queen B7. You mentioned Queen B7, Bishop C8, but that's not it because your pieces are hanging, right? So, Bishop E6 is a little weird, okay? And if we go back, one thing that I would be interested in is, can I whack him? So let's go see if we can whack him. Check to the miserable king. King E2. Check to the miserable king. This is what you get when you don't develop. So knight E2, we have whack, and we win the rook. King C2, we have whack, and we win the rook. King E1, we have whack, and we win the rook. So Bishop E2 is, I guess, the only question. But then we're going to say check to the miserable rook, Bishop F3. Check to the miserable bishop, my good friend. And now I'm going to take everything. Like Bishop G4, I'm going to take this one. House is falling. House is falling apart. That's what you get when you don't develop, house. That's what you get. Okay. Bishop E6. Your opponent does not think and instantly play C4. Terrible move. Now your knight on C6 is free. B6. Yeah. So B6, totally unnecessary. Notice that what it suggests is that you maybe missed Queen B7 before, and now you saw it, and you were like, "Ooh," right? But this one, you just look at it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's where the steed goes. That's where the that's where the steed goes." Okay, B6, you're still crushing him. Good move. Queen C3, castles. Okay, now just to point out, well, okay, let's do it. Castles, B3, very slow again. Bishop B4, exclam, very nice move. I was going to mention it last move, but I was like, it doesn't necessarily end the game, so I wasn't going to mention it. Queen D3, and now Rook E8. So, Rook E8 is, let's call it only an apparently developing move. And again, what you want to do now when they don't develop is focus on how we can create threats, how we can open the position. So a great move here, I think, a very simple move anyway, would be knight d7 and threatening knight c5. That would, actually it's threatening to win the queen, see? So I don't know, let's just make a move for him. Check to the miserable queen. We're not even interested in this one. Queen goes here, something, got him. Goes f1, got him. It's a real hassle in the castle. And that's what they deserve. That's what they deserve when they refuse to develop their coconuts. Right? That's what they get. Okay, terrible move, yeah. So, you can do so many different things. Your move is simple and strong. Very good. Okay. So, good move. Good move. And now you played c5, which I guess it's okay. Okay, fine. Snip, boom. Now notice what he did. Please notice what he did. Your rook wasn't really in the game, and now, boy, oh, it's in. It is in. And your opponent doesn't see it? Yes, thank you very much. h4, complete waste of time. Queen e7, good move. Rook h2, rook e8, good move. You're killing him. King d1. Okay. You make a simple and strong move, rook f4. How could it be wrong? Yeah. Bishop h5, knight takes, fine. King c2. Okay, you are murdering this poor soul. I'm just going to take a quick look at the time. You are, well, actually, it says right there, 8:51. We do want you to speed it up a little bit. So now we're in the stage where we have a kind of different task, where we're aiming to finish the guy off. Now, you're going to play queen f6, f5 to exchange queens. I think that's a fine way of playing. You could do so many different things there too. See, let me just look at something for a second. Yeah, so this was all fine. This is also fine. It's a little slow, but this is fine. I would trade this knight. Why? Because the more you can trade, the easier your task is going to be. In general, at this level, your goal in chess should be, I want to trade all my opponent's stuff. I want to win stuff, like you have. Then I'm going to trade it all off. And then I'm going to execute with just, me having more stuff than my opponent. So good move. But now the knight is going to mess with you a little bit, see? Now you get messed with. Rook e5, I don't understand that move. So, it's become a little difficult now. I definitely think you're going to lose a pawn, first of all. But you should consider rook e6. Now he's messing with you. d3. I think that's a nice move. That's a great move. But look where, but I don't think you understood your own idea. Because look what you had here, boss. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. D3 was a better move than you gave credit for. Here, you're down to a minute, so it's going to be rough. Knight g5, good move by your opponent. Knight f4, rook d1, I guess black lost on time. Okay, so night. Let's talk this through a little bit. What you should see about this game is that you are going to have mini games that follow this game's pattern. Your opponent will move too fast and will give you all kinds of developing moves in the opening. What I don't want you to feel bad about, though, is losing on time. I want to stress, when you play, let's say, the Dojo round robin, and it says if it's 30-0 for the under 800, you can always request to play a longer time control. You can say, can we please do 30-30? And most dojoers will let you do that. After you're past 800, of course, then that is going to be something where you have to do 30-30. Okay? I think you should be very happy with this game. You had just a nice, simple takedown. Ultimately, it's time that got you, but I think you're doing great. Now, he says, I just want to enter this. He says, as I say in the beginning, my graduation wishes to have some feedback on what to do here. You're doing great. Look at this thing. This is called the gun, buddy. This is the gun. So this part you did fantastic. Look at this. You're just ripping them apart. It's a yard sale. And like I said, you want to trade pieces. when they're down like this. I would say queen e4 makes a lot of sense. Just trade it off. Now, if you want it to be like, let's say, the most correct about it, then moving the rook and knight f4 would be a GM approach to crushing white in this position. Okay, but I want to stress, you don't need a GM approach. You just need to trade off the guys and win the ensuing endgame. Okay, well done. I think you're doing great, Night Night. I really do. I think you're doing great. I'm not worried about your chess at all. I think we're going to see you graduate again soon. Love the grind, too. I really want to stress, I think the process, you used it well. And especially if you're enjoying it, I think you're going to make it because your chess is pretty good. Your chess is good. You're so much better than that guy. All right, and again, you're going to play that guy a bunch, and you're going to farm rating from him just like Naka did in Louisiana. Okay, here we go. Here's Paduplo. He says, starting to play during COVID on and off, and in the past few months decided to take it more seriously after using only YouTube videos as a source of improvement. Well, yeah, it's not going to work. So he joined the dojo. Look at this. Did loads of work, and then flew up. So, beautiful stuff. And, yeah, welcome to the dojo. We got some clubs for Paduplo. Loads. He's in Brazil, lifting heavy things. Dude, lifting heavy things. Now, I don't know if you're allowed to be part of both the Dutch dojo and the Brazil dojo. Okay. Lifting heavy things is interesting to me because there's only 34 members, but that's definitely the club where the most progress is happening. And maybe it's because lifting heavy things, people are like, have you ever heard of the thing called number go up? The people who do lifting are like, they're into the number go up. That's all they care about is number go up. So I think there's something to it, buddy. I think there's something to number go up and lifting heavy things. Okay. It is by far the most overrepresented club in the graduates of the dojo. Maybe I'll make a vid about it, huh? Maybe I'll make a vid. Okay, so here we go. Games. We're going to go my games for Paduplo. And here we go. This was played recently against Harsh. And we'll take a look. Let me just look at this for a second. Oh, look at this, dude. We got the solitaire chess guess the move thing is now here. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Jack. This is really cool. This is going to be a key thing. I got to do, well, dude, I got to do a whole vid on this, dude. Solitaire chess vid. I got to experiment with it, and then I got to do a little video on it. I have not myself done a lot of solitaire chess, but I never had this this interface before. Okay, so times. Ooh. Actually, I'm going to look for a different game because this one is a 15-10, which is too fast. So let's just go look over here. This is going to be Grancho, Paduplo. What do we got? Uh-oh, he's a 15-10 maniac. Let's just do a couple more, see if there's one that's not 15-10. 15-10. Paduplo, come on, bud. 15-10. I'm going to do two more, and then I'm going to give up. So, why do we want to do more than 15-10? Because we want you to really have the ability to sink in the position during the game. Very important for your chess development. And then after the game, you want to spend some time thinking about quality decisions that you made, that you had a chance to make. Here, 15-10, you don't have that much time. Okay, so Paduplo. Hopefully we'll see some different games that are not 15-10. Welcome to the dojo. You're doing great. I love the rating games. And yeah, I think we'll see you again soon. All right, next up we got America SB. Sorry about the template again. This is DM Hoki's fault. DM Hoki. I've been blaming him for years for all the dojo's problems. America SB, you're in the wrong cohort, buddy. It says 781, and I have a feeling you didn't appreciate that this rating is not the same as the dojo rating. All right? But great that you're here. Great that, you've done some great work. And so I think we'll see you again when we get the correct cohort. Okay, next we have Akvana. Boom. And Akvana joined April this year. Hasn't logged a bunch of stuff though, and is also in the wrong cohort, though maybe they just fell recently. Let's take a look. No clubs, no games. So Akvana, welcome to the dojo. Hopefully we're going to see some games of you soon. Now, Dr. Tukfunstein, this guy is going to have some games. He's crushing it all the time. After a few weeks with a bit less time, I have got back into the routine of practicing again. I have a couple of classical games where my opponent just blundered and resigned, but one in particular to get over 900 was a close match with my opponent. Great. Hopefully I can find said game. So, as you can see, Dr. Tukfunstein is killing it. He joined the dojo June of this year and is already just like, dude, this is what it's about. You join the dojo and your rating curve is going to look something like this, right? And he's definitely doing the work. All right, let's take a look. He is in the Down Under Dojo. Great. Then we got some games. He always has some games. And I'm hoping this is the game he's talking about here. Let's assume this is the game just for a second that he's talking about. Ooh, look at this time graph. Look at this time graph. So this is 30 plus 20. Generally, we want 30 plus 30, but this is close enough. Look at that time graph, my friends. Dang, that's a beautiful time graph. Yeah. So let's just say that generally at this level, you're not going to see opponents you're going to see opponents outside the dojo who aren't using their time. And here, it's very impressive, this fight that happened where both players used their time. So well done. We'll go game review. And let's take a look. Okay. Fine. Bishop G4. Okay. I've spent a lot of time playing this position as black, not with Bishop G4. My strong suspicion is we should play Bishop D3 or H3 here, and the reason Bishop E2 is a little soft is because later it's going to get whacked with a rook here. So Bishop D6, C6, good move. F6, I think reasonable. Knight E7, good move. Queen C7. I think Knight F5 might have been more clever from black, because now after Bishop G3, black is going to be forced to give up their good bishop. So snip, snap, and FG. A little controversial to open up the F line here. Maybe playable. He wants to, open the rook, but I don't know if the rook's doing much there. I think it's interesting though. Okay, so Knight D7. Queen D3. I would have guessed your intention was Knight H4. Right? Knight G5. So blunder played with in a little bit over a minute. Okay. So actually, is it a full blunder? Maybe not. Maybe not. So he says, I hadn't fully considered Bishop E2 and was fortunate to have Queen E7. Okay. I still think black is going to be better after all this. So let's take a look. Boom, boom, boom. And I think Knight B6 looks like a blunder. How about Knight F6? Knight F6, my sense is black's a little bit better. And the main reason is white has traded off all their good pieces and is left with this poor knight on c3. This is clearly a mistake, though, because we say thank you for your coconut. That's just a random threat. We say check to the miserable king. And now we're going to hope he finds a good move here. Good move! Exclam. Exclam. I think that's very impressive to play b3. It shows that you are prophylactically being aware of your opponent's possibilities. So excellent positional move. Hello, Ujad. Matt Chess says he tested out the solitaire chess last night. So let's just continue and talk a little bit about this. Rook DE8. The challenge here is like the extra pawn isn't that meaningful. But it's more meaningful to start thinking, for both players to start thinking about like how can they improve their knights. And I don't have a clear sense yet of how to fix the knight. I do feel pretty strongly, though, that this move needs to come. Maybe we'll play knight d1 after and try to do some kind of rerouting. But this is kind of weird because black wants to fix their knight anyway. This looks like a blunder, though. Why can't we take the pawn? No one knows. So we're missing that. Queen f5. Notice what happened. Black fixed their knight, and we didn't. Queen e7. I'm not sure I understand that move. b5. Check to the miserable king. And the knight that was poor gets, chopped off the board. Not uncommon. Check to the miserable king. We're out of here. Queen c7 doesn't really do anything. He calmly defends. Okay. a5. Okay, good. I like what you're doing. You're at least messing with him. Simple chess, unfortunately. a6. Queen c7. He probably shouldn't let you take there. Queen e3. Good move. And that's too frisky, queen c2. Like, maybe the engine would like you to play queen c2, but that's just too dangerous. Why? Why are you doing it? And then he blunders with rook a8. Now, it was got to be said that a key reason he's in trouble here is he's going to snipping pawns when he's up a knight. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? If you had just like a simple, what would be a simple move? Something like knight e4 or rook e8. Rook e8 is very simple, right? Okay, good move. Yeah, queen a4 it's dangerous, but I like your variation. Queen a4, queen e7, rook c7. Check to the miserable king. Now his rook is dead. Check to the miserable king. Oh no, now he's going to lose his queen. Oh yeah, that's satisfying. And now we should be able to mate him. You play queen a5 check. And you talk about queen b7. Absolutely. Queen b7 for sure. Winning the rook. Notice that queen a5 is an example of just like a random checko. Right? Okay, so queen a5. Check to the miserable. Check to the miserable. Check to the miserable. Check to the miserable. You're just kind of checking them all over the place here. you need a plan, son. Knight e4 you could do. Checkmate. Checkmate, buddy. So, great game. And let's just, for the fans and for Dr. Tukfunstein, is we want to say that games at this level are still being decided by people hanging stuff. But losing a piece, like you did, not necessarily the end. And what it shows when black plays queen takes c2 is that black is not practiced in the art of consolidating after we won a piece, right? Okay, very instructive game. And now we got Grand Matty Chess over here. Grand Matty says, I've been away from the dojo for a while, finally coming back to it. I changed my primary dojo rating from ChessCom to USCF and just scheduled my next OTB for the end of September. So now seems like a good time to graduate to the 9 to 1,000. Looking forward to focusing on my OTB and really following the program. I think I remember Grand Matty chess from way back. So here he is. Yeah, kind of spotty doing it. I like his picture a lot. 959 normalized from 1075 USCF. Beautiful. Clubs. New York City. Great. We got 38 people over there. That's a good little bit. We got some games. Boom. And let's do this one. So he just played this fairly recently. And do we have a time graph? We do. So this is more typical of what we see at this level, where both players are not playing with their time. Also, we want to say, Grand Matty, is that really for your level, because you are now progressed, we want you playing longer than 30, and I believe it's 30-30 is the recommended minimum time control for where you are at. Okay, but he's going to play. He's going to play an OTB at the end of September, so that'll be a great experience for him. All right, boom. We're going to go mark reviewed, and then here we go. Fine. Fine. Poor. Now, the reason this is poor is you can undevelop his knight with d4 now. Play here. e3. I think you could still play d4. Good move. I like that you're just developing. e3 is poor from the perspective of the fact that the bishop on f1 is already out, and now he's moving again. So I still like d4 to undevelop the knight on c3. Good move, though. a3, terrible. Losing time. He's afraid of knight b4, but he could just play d3 on knight b4. Solid move. I still like d4. Solid move. Poor, not developing. Good move. Poor, not developing. So again, one of the reasons I did this course called Mastering Time in Chess is I seen so many dojo games that look just like this, where somebody isn't developing their coconuts. Now, what do we want to do? We want to open the position. You played rook e8. I think that's mostly fine. I also like e5 now. Let's just start taking it all over. Poor. Now, you play queen c7, but we should give stern consideration to bishop d3. Queen c7. I like your development. Poor, not developing. Now b6. Okay, bishop d3 at some point. b5, not going to help him. Knight e5. I like knight e5 a little bit less. I'm going to look at what the engine says. I know you have an engine note on the side. But I like it less because you have more control over the board. Better center control. His pieces are all messed up. You trading is going to set the bishop free and help relieve a lot of the congestion in his backfield. Right? Congestion in his backfield. So, Vaibaf asks, hello, is this FIDE classical OTB match? I think this one is not. I think this is an online game. However, our hero here is looking to play an OTB soon. And he says, the engine wants knight a5, but I don't usually put my knight on the edge like this. This move didn't even occur to me. Okay, so remember what I said. When they don't develop and they're getting scrunched, we don't want to trade pieces. The knight on a5 prevents that. Also, he's going to look into things. He's going to be looking in. Peekaboo. He's going to be looking in. All right, so snip, snap. d4. Let's just go back. Oh. Okay, maybe. I'm okay with that. ED is a little weird. Fine. Fine. Beautiful. You're doing great. Bishop f4. I like rook c8. Okay. Yeah, so I guess you could just take the pawn. Yeah. Good move. Good move. Good move. Good move. Now you say clear advantage to black, and I would say this is definitely winning because you have really two advantages. You have the pawn, of course, you have the file. So I think it's winning, but I think it's fine to call it clear advantage for black, just from the perspective that you might not feel like it's over. Rook c7, I want to play rook c4 for sure. For sure. Take it. There we go. Now, this is actually a little bit hectic because it's hard for players, including GMs, to coordinate the two rooks against the queen. Computer has no problem with it, but we humans sometimes do. Good move. Good move. He's messing with you. Now you take on d4. I think I would take on a4 because when he plays queen d7, he's going to be touching the coconut on a7. Here you go. Queen b6. Oh, it's getting spicy now. d3. And now queen d6 would be the main question mark. What are you going to do there with queen d6? It looks a little like we've lost control of the game with queen d6. Okay? So let's go back and look how it happened. We need to control all the squares. So on queen d6, we should have taken this bad boy, and now we just go away and we're like, no, I'm going to win that one at my leisure. You know, we'll give ourselves a Luft move. He's not doing nothing. So this is an example of containing. And what you did was you went for it. And when those coconuts fall, it's dangerous because the a4 and b5 are running. Now, I think rook d8's crushing. Did you do it? Good move. No, that isn't it. Yeah, there we go. There we go, buddy. Goodbye. Goodbye. I'm on my way now. King f1. There we go. That's what we like to see. Check to the miserable king. Snippo snappo. He should resign. Refuses. Yep. Check to the miserable king. Very nice victory. Okay, I thought that was a very nice win. And I want to stress for you and for the players watching that at this level, you're going to see a lot of this. And what by this, I mean people who don't take their time, who don't develop their pieces. And they will hang stuff less. Okay, because we're getting to a period, like once we get around 1,000 dojo, there's going to be some less hanging of pieces, but they will give you time and they will give you clock time as well. I shouldn't say give you clock time, they just won't use their own clock time. Okay, so here we go. Boom. We're going to go grad show. And we got Sverbs. After Sverbs, I'm going to take a little break. What is Sverbs going on? Well, maybe Sverbs doesn't tell us much. He's 1001. Hasn't done much work. Joined kind of recently, so maybe he doesn't got anything over here. Okay, great. So I'll be right back. Boom, boom.
Welcome
to Dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine did he packing? He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truon. He's got lightning attacks on GM, blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chap. Still, his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the abstinence, daily practices, rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for ELO farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis. With lengthy game analysis, with sensei direction, he sold his collection.
All right, my friends, we are back with the business here. And we just did Svurbs. And how many? Oh, dude, we got 29 today. That might give me a heart attack. We'll see if we make it. All right, we got Ollie up next. Ollie doesn't got much to say. 24 years old. Goals to reach 1,500. Lives in the UK. Great. I like this. And just joined pretty recently. Is he in the UK club? Yes, he is. Games. Let's see what he's got. Serious games to be analyzed. Wait, why isn't there... this is another thing I gotta write. Ollie Chess, no My Games folder. So that's not a problem for Ollie Chess. It's a problem for the dojo, because this whole what's going on? Wait, no, I get it. No, I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I was like, wait a second. I don't see the My Games. Okay, so serious games. Let's go look. He divided his My Games into a bunch of different categories. So, first game, Dojo Round Robin Tournament. Beautiful. Okay, so we got times. Look at this. Both players, a fairly quick game, but both players using their time fairly well. Okay, good. So, here we go. He's saying he wants more accurate calculation. Okay, I'm not a huge fan, but okay. Here we go. Boom. DE5. Queen B6. Based on principles I have learned from Game 5 in the most instructive games of chess ever played, Chernoff critiques move Queen A5, saying that the queen should not be moved so soon. Therefore, I saw this move and did not think it was overly strong. However, I believe I made the wrong move by playing ED5. Now, let's just say it's an interesting position. I believe... I have no idea what's going on. I'm prejudiced against the move F3 because it blocked all your coconuts, right? I know it's a variation. Black might have known this thing, and it looks kind of scary because he's like, you can take all the pawns you want, buddy, but I'm going after your king. So, ED5, and you talk about knight C3 in the post-mortem. So, or maybe bishop D3. Exclam. Queen E2. And now you're just losing your coconuts. So you got tricked by a prepared line. And, when you play a move like F3, you got to expect something like this is going to go down. Snip. I guess we're toast now. Check to the miserable king. And now this looks like a clean blunder. Queen takes B5. Clean blunder. And now what did he do? He just hung a piece. So think about it this way. This guy playing black probably practiced this complicated variation on Chessable. But then when it came to Queen B5, dude didn't have the skills to deal with the position. So now you're winning. Or are you winning? I don't know. You're up. You're doing great. D4. Now, you took on d7, and that's probably fine. You could have played knight d5 maybe too. Beautiful. Now you have a nice, well, very nice position. Good move. Castles. Great. Great. Look at this. Boom. Great. Absolutely fantastic. Before I call it too fantastic, though, let me just ask a questione. Sometimes we want to ask a questione. Could you win this coconut with knight b3? To me, it looks like you can. There's a rook. Here we trade and snip. If rook b5, we have a4, and that's gone. So, I love rook ge1 in terms of developing, but I think you're missing a key oportunidad. Knight 7 g6. Now, I think knight b3 still wins the game. Yeah, knight b3 still wins the game. He's out of here. Knight b3 still wins the game. Still wins the game. Now we have a complicated fight. b3. I don't know. f5. Okay. Beautiful. So, that was fun. I like that. So f4, knight c4 is actually a surprisingly, it's already really bad. Oh, f4 is very nice. So he missed knight b3, and it's a little bit more complicated, but it looks crushing. I'm not sure I see anything to do for black. Oh, I like this a lot. He's putting, well, let's just work through it a second. So here, the question is, could black have stopped this? And so if we take, there's, white's definitely better and everything, but we're not going to lose the exchange. And here we're going to take here. Yeah, okay. So that was better for black. Exclam, exclam, exclam. Game over. Beautiful. Check to the miserable king. Ollie, well done, buddy. Well done. Yeah. Got a little lucky. And, when you play f3, you just got it. That should be it. The whole thing is like, when I play a move like f3, I'm going to be subjected to some kind of crazy things like this with queen b6. All right, here we go. Next up, we have Crabtar, and Crabtar has been around a while. I haven't been doing many dojo tasks lately, but with this graduation, it's my goal to get back into routine. I've also been struggling with what cohort I belong in, as my OTB is too low. But after switching back and forth, for now I'm going back to using my online rating to determine my cohort while I continue to play an OTB in an effort to raise that rating. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to follow what he wants to look at. Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah, I think Naka might come over there to Omaha next, dude. After Louisiana, dude, I think he's going to go to Omaha. Not many tiny Asian kids there, buddy. Maybe he's going to be over there. Okay. So, yeah, OTB's lower. And definitely I think it's a good aspiration for you to work on that OTB. Looks like you're doing some good work here, for sure. Good macro distribution. Clubs. Midwest Dojo. Nebraska Dojo. That's more like what I'm talking about. We got 3 in Nebraska Dojo. There we go. I want to see that thing grow. Games. My games. And I'm hoping that this is the right one that we're looking at here. Wait a second. Didn't he say something? So my most recent game is the one he wants to look at. So let's go. Boom. There we go. First, we got a time graph. We do. Let's go click that. Very nice. So this is a 2-hour game, which means he had to manually input the times. Might seem difficult at first, but once you get in the habit of it, it's very much worth it. Great time graph from both players. In the experience of the dojo, games that are played online usually are played OTB, usually have a higher quality. Generally, people will take more time when they're playing OTB than when they're online. It's more distracting online. It's more conducive to making impulsive decisions. Okay, so here we go. D4. Fine. 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 Okay. Rook E8. Okay. Maybe C5 is slightly stronger. Your opponent finds a nice move stopping you from doing E5. Bishop E2, Queen E2, C5. Great. F4. Okay. Now you play Queen C7. It's probably okay. I would have preferred Rook C8 or Queen B6 just to look at their coconuts. And C4 is very ambitious. I never know what to do when my opponent creates a square of pawns such as this, looking into it. Well, it's maybe their best try. In general, when you're playing like a stonewally thing like White is doing here, it's controversial to really light it up. But I think this is okay with what he's doing. I would be interested in playing DC here. You go snip, snap, and then play B6. I don't like that too much, because now your queen has to get out of the way. You played A5. That looks like a blunder. So you got to play Queen B7, right? Got to go. Got to get out of dodge. A5, C takes, Queen B7, Rook C6. I feel like this should be able to be punished and for me to at least win an exchange. Okay, so let's just say the obvious. This looks like a clean pawn by taking. Okay, Rook C6. Good, good, good. Now, whether or not you're winning the exchange or not, your knight is now amazing, and this bishop is kind of terrible. All right, Rook D6. Now, what's weird about it, it might seem interesting for the rook to be there, but he's also getting in the way of like his knight. That was like maybe the one plan he's got. Now you played Rook A8. I don't like this move. You spent 6 minutes protecting the knight, as the queen shouldn't be the only one doing so. But this guy's just a tourist now. We don't even want to mess with that knight that rook anymore. So at least in terms of just default decisions for black, I would want to play Rook C8. And then at some point I want to move the knight, probably to F8. And I'm just going to be like, I got a pawn, I got a beautiful knight, my queen is touching this weak square, we're doing great. So now I'm a little worried that his knight's coming in there. Knight E7, Queen F3, I'm getting worried now. Oh no, what are we doing? King H8, this can't be it. Oh no, we're all falling apart. Oh, did you miss it? And now I think we're lost, like with the minimum Queen E6. Bishop A3, maybe even stronger. Boom, boom. Okay, so we fell apart there, Nicholas. And I would say definitely it kind of, you did great up to this point. You outplayed your opponent, okay? And I guess right here, you missed how strong this knight was going to be. And then you kind of lost your mind after Rook A D8, Knight E4. It might be a difficult position already, but honestly, I think you're still okay if you just play Rook C8. Because see, the knight can't come and D6 you until the rook moves, and I don't know where the rook's going. And next move we'll play Knight F8, and I think we should be okay. Queen laterally defending to the F7 square. Okay, so good. I think it's great what you're saying with the OTB, right? You're doing beautifully. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing you again. That's the famous Crabtar. He's been around Dojo for a while. I just realized something nasty about this. Hold on, let's go back. Okay, we'll get there. Look at this. This is all. DM Hokie, I need help, buddy. You got to get me. I asked you a while back, buddy. I need help with this layout. Now we got Malta. Malta says, I haven't been doing many dojo tasks lately, but with this graduation, it's my goal to get back into routine. Oh, excuse me, I'm reading Crabtar. Malta says, I finally took some time in the last months to schedule a couple of classical games with fellow dojo members. Subsequent post-mortem discussions were super useful. Beautiful to hear. Now you can see Malta is using the program, has graduated numerous times, and joined last year, kind of maybe getting serious about it now. A lot of times we see that at the dojo. They join and then they aren't super serious for a while. Clubs. European, Ostdeutschland. Okay, then we get some games. My games. Nothing. Oh, Malta. Really, buddy? Really? Okay, so he says OTB games. Why aren't, I guess he's got some games. So we got to put these, though, Malta, in your My Games. That's the whole point of the My Games folder. So let's get into this. We're going to go grad show, and I realize, not grad show, game review. Well, first things first. We don't have any times. We want to fix our little layout a little bit here. So let's give this a little fix. Okay, so Malta says, this was a game in my local chess league against an older opponent who was actually quite highly rated. I think I played a decent game and had a slight advantage for most of the game, but lost to a rather simple tactic. Okay. Fine, weird. So D5 would probably transpose to an advanced French. Fine, beautiful. Black is forgetting to develop. Castles, beautiful. CD4, a mistake because your knight on B1 now gets the C3 square. D5. Now an interesting moment. You decide to take, which I'm sure is good for you just because you're so well developed. But it's got to be said that E5 is an amazing French position. Amazing, because this guy's dead. You're up a million tempi. You know, a very strong position for white. This one, I don't know. Because the bishop is now out. And you can snip it. But he's going to be able to mess with you a little bit. Now, rook e5 is a very committal move. Because if you don't have anything after this, you're just going to get whacked with like a knight c6. Okay, so we need to come up with a way to put pressure on black. One option that appeals to me is a4. Let's just assume b4 for a second. Then knight e5. He cannot take here because of this. And then what I'd like to do is arrange some kind of bishop c4 with knight f7 ideas. That's just an idea. This doesn't it. This isn't it, though. Okay. Now black's fine. b3. I don't get it. Okay. You're developing at least. Bishop c2. Why would we do that instead of bishop b1? Right? To totally get out of the way. a3. You're playing passive now. Queen d3. Knight e7. Probably a good move. H3. Knight G6. Maybe Knight D5 is what I would prefer, but okay. G3. Rook C6. H4. Okay, so look at what you're doing. You're obsessing over mating him over there. And the difficulty is your pieces are all kind of nasty. Queen C7, King G2, Knight D5, finally. And he's setting a trap, and you fall for it here with H5. And this is what you call the reloading tactic. It should be said that you are positionally lost here because black has control over the blockade square, has control over the c-file, and even if it were true that he had to go back to f8, we would still say white is in big trouble. Right? Okay, so game was lost with knight gf4. Malta, I really want to suggest that next time you put in the times, right? And but I like what you're doing. You're obviously playing somebody here, this older guy, who is pretty strong. He had a positional sense of what was going on, right? And as you go up the rating ladder, that positional understanding will become more and more important. I would say you're kind of at the beginning of it here in the 1200 to 1300, where it starts to be important. And by important, I just mean it's always important, but it will start to decide games, right? Yeah. Okay, beautiful. Let's continue. And now we got NC. NC doesn't tell us anything. Let's go see what's going on over here. NC doesn't say much. It looks like they just joined. Doing great in this. He's actually ready to graduate again. Yeah, he's ready to graduate again. Clubs. French. Okay. Club. My games. We got something. No game. So I think NC basically just joined and is able to graduate again. So maybe they'll do some annotations and then come back to us for the graduation show. AC Secret. AC Secret's a famous dojoer. He's graduated numerous times. And you know what? I'm going to say, I want to say more icons, more grad icons than 3 in grad list. Because a lot of these people have graduated more times than 3. Okay? So here we go. AC Secret says, I recently joined a 60-30 FIDE rated tournament. It's the Philippine elimination lose-on leg for the 2026 Chess Olympiad. Beautiful. I got 3 out of 8 games. I lost 20 rating points, but it's all right. I changed my preferred rating to FIDE as opposed to ChessCom, adhering to Cry's request. Next tournament is in October, 6-round 60-30 FIDE stand. There we go, AC Secret. There we go. Let's go check out AC Secret. How many times has this dude graduated? If we go down here, look at this. Dude, this guy's graduating all the time. This guy's on it. Now, 1306. Beautiful stuff. He's just changed it to FIDE. Before that, you could see that was his amazing run where he gained 1,187 points. 562 Lichess. So he's clearly crushing it. Clubs. Do we got a Philippine club? He's got the Asian Dojo. So AC Secret. And now that I know you listen to me, if you identify as just simply Philippine, that's great. Make a club that's called that. Or maybe you have a city there you live in, and then put that city for your club, right? And he's part of the Jeans Club. He's part of the Jeans Club, man. Okay, games. My games. Did he mention which one he wanted me to look at? I don't think so. Okay, so we got some cool OTB games, it looks like. This one was just added. We got some clock use. No, we don't got the clock. So we're going to go game review. So, fine, fine, beautiful. Aggressive, too early pawn push, right. So, the general idea of what we call the hyper-modern openings, of which the King's Indian is one, is to allow our opponent to take the center with the thought that we will be able to collapse it later. And a move like e5 is definitely going to help us collapse it, partly because they're not developing. Good move, good move. Now the center will collapse. Simple chess, black is arguably already winning. Bishop e2, thank you very much. Excellent move. Yeah, I think we're winning now. Queen e3. Now, we don't want to play knight f3, bishop c3. Your knight g4 move, honestly, looks great. Yeah. Knight g4, queen c1, passive. Queen b6, simple and strong. And now knight e3. Probably fine. Yeah, looks good. I mean, how could it not be fine? Rook g1, bishop f5. Look, you're killing it. Bishop d1. Bishop h6, that's not very nice. That's not very nice. That's not very nice either. Check to the miserable king. Bishop b3. I guess queen b6 is also I would call it simpler. But that's, it's hard to argue with that. Hard to argue. So, AC secret. Crushing victory, dude. Crushing victory. When you play this next tournament, I really encourage you to write down the times. It might seem onerous at first, but it's definitely something that you can do. And this is a classic takedown of the center, and so that was good. Let's call it opening understanding on your part. Now, what I mean by that, this isn't in any opening book, but you need to know how to take down this kind of premature advance, and he did it perfectly. Okay, so here we go. Job Houseman asks, how do you analyze time management? I will look at that soon. Somebody says I skipped Gino. Maybe I did. Let's go back. Did I skip Gino? Oh, maybe I skipped Gino, Mouse. We got to go back and do Gino. Sorry about that. Thank you, Persephone. So, Gino, 1500cc Rapid is getting closer, hoping to get there this year now that life is getting busy for me. Hoping to still get a decent amount of practice in. Why did I miss Gino? I don't know. Aus Deutschland. Okay, young man, joined the dojo, looking great. Okay. Clubs. Great German dojo. Now, I just want to stress, especially in the German dojo, this is my dream. There's so many cool clubs in Germany. So many cool clubs. And so my dream is that you belong to some club, Vienheim, Sindelfingen, whatever it is, and then start a dojo club with that, right? And then get your people in there, and then you can see who's doing what inside the dojo, what kind of work they do. All right, here we go. Games. My games. Here's Gino against Maori. So we got time. And here's a weird one, though kind of common. Sometimes when they get to an end game, now arguably maybe we'll just find that somebody was winning and the game was just petering out. But a lot of times we see they're able to think, but then the system 2 thinking bucket is done. It's over. And then just impulsive moves are made. So we'll check in later to see if that's true. Okay, so game review. All right, game took place on lead chess. So, fine. Bishop e2 was recommended by Nose. That's a dirty trick. That's a dirty trick. Queen c2 is probably okay. e6, I don't like it. d4, good move. a6, I don't like it. Notice that when they took on d4, they gave your knight this beautiful square. Good move. He's passive. Castles. Bishop e7. Rook e1. Simple chess. And now a blunder. e5. Now I guess we're winning. Yeah, I mean, it's not a guess. You are winning. Snip, snap. And then he sacks the piece. He's like, dude, I'd rather lose a piece than lose the pawn on h7. Okay, we say, I hope you at least said thank you. Okay, fine. Okay, so bishop g5. I think that's fine. Knight e4 would be a real mean thing to do because, you know, you just want to trade queens at this point. Get it over with. Fine. Check to the miserable king. It's fine. Fine. You're killing him. Queen e2. Simple chess. That wasn't it. Check to the miserable king. Oh, man, this is getting miserable. Oh, and I like this move a lot. I like it a lot. I'm sure there's some way to just mate him, but this is the simple way. We do not need to be fancy. Now, that's fancy. That's fancy. Now, I guess I like bishop e4 better, but that's pretty fancy. Okay. Rook e2, good move. Is very good. Fine. Okay. Uh-oh. Now he blew it. King g1. Oh, no. Oh, no. King g1. Now, ooh, I have it, my friends. I have it. Remember what I said. Listen to what I said. Very important. This applies to higher rated as well. When their system 2 thinking bucket, okay, system 2 is deep thinking, has become exhausted, they are unable to focus and concentrate. And high-rated players are very aware of this, and even then, they're aware of it, but their bucket is still exhausted, so it's hard. But they do know to slow down, to just force themselves to slow it down. So we go back. Let's go take a look at this bad boy at the time graph. We're at move 32, by the way. Boom. Look at what happened. Dude was in the process of just stopping thinking at all. Now, after this blunder, then he kind of rage quits it. Because I can guarantee you this ending is not simple. It's still everything to fight for after we blow it. Okay? So notice, this is very important for Gino to recognize, but also the other players. When you are playing a game like this, it's time to think. Okay? It's time to think. So rook fd8, and now he plays rook e1 in 16 seconds. 16 seconds. Okay? And look at the... Oh, excuse me. I'm in the wrong... Sorry. Sometimes I do this. All right. So, John Hoisman asks, what do you mean by system 2 thinking? So this is a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. Helps define what thinking is, basically. And thinking fast is stuff like, you know, walking and chewing gum at the same time. Very important skill. Thinking slow, though, is a little bit more like doing a math problem, doing some chess calculation, right? And everybody, especially if you haven't practiced it, you're going to run low on that ability. After a while, you're just going to get cooked. And so a key skill for chess players to develop is developing system 2 thinking for an extended period of time. And we see it here at the dojo. I've seen a lot, this kind of time graph that I just showed, where people just get cracked. Now, he gives a long variation where, to me, it's obvious that's the key move to consider after we've blown it, right? So it would be rook e3, here, or de1, snippos, hippos, and he says rook d1, and then he gives this thing where it's like this line would even out the pawns, but it's still all the same to me. There's no real way to win here. Slow down. Slow down, buddy. Slow it down. Okay. Let's just look for a second. Okay? Let's just look for a second. King F1 is the key consideration. So, for example, King F1, if he takes, we're up a pawn. If he goes here, I think that's a key challenge for us because rook takes, king e2, rook b1, he's going to get one of his pawns back. Okay. So what we want to do then is we want to go here, check to the miserable king, here, and we are going to remain up a pawn. Now, I've played a lot of rook games in my life. I can see these things kind of quickish, but even then I know that if I was playing this game, I would think for like 10 minutes here, Bows. Hey, you got to figure it out. The milk's gone bad. You've made a mistake. Now we have to win the game again. It's not over. It's not over. Don't give me this stuff with there's no real way to win here. Don't give me that. You know, there's no real way to win at the beginning of position of chess either. But here you're up a pawn and you can massage him all night long. Right? Okay. All night long. All night, all night, all night long. Okay, Christ, stop. All right, now black gets the pawn back, and that is, I'm going to call that inaccurate for sure, rook d2. Better for black would be to hit him and then spit him with rook d2, attacking 2 pawns at once. So he blows it. Good. And now we actually get the position we just got. We're just talking about b4. Now, white plays too fast, rook a5. Does anyone have any idea what that move is? I don't know. What would be correct? Probably h4. You got an extra pawn, Bows. You can massage him here. I don't understand his moves. Now rook a4 is a good move. Good move. b3, blunder. And then ultra blunder. Rook takes a4. And look, actually, a good note. The fatigue got to both of us. Fantastic. Let me just stress here. So one of the cool things about analyzing your game is just the ability to come to a conclusion like that. If you hadn't analyzed the game, you might not have been able to recognize, oh, it was the fatigue. And once you recognize it's the fatigue, oh, buddy, you're on the train to improvement. Now, what should he have done? The guy should have played rook b with something here. I don't know, let's put the king here, and then force the pawn trade. Force that pawn trade. And this is a technically drawn position. But, Gino, if you were playing Maori Jones, who ain't thinking at all, you have a good chance to win this bad boy. Right? Okay. Grandmaster Gift says, I can't find enough OTB events, then I got something for you, buddy. Listen, you go to the dojo, you hit tournaments, you hit round robin, you go to whatever cohort you're in. And look at this. We got players playing some deep souths here. We got 1, 2 tournaments already ongoing. This one, you could join, ready to start in a day. Okay? So, this is the real deal. If you can't play OTB, come to the dojo and you're going to get some longer quality games. They're going to do some postmortems with you. They are going to not be cheaters too. A lot of you play longer games online at other sites. There's going to be some cheaters. Okay, we've done AC Secret, and now we're on to the famous Dr. Otakon. Now, the good doctor, has graduated numerous times. Let's go over here. So, he has switched also to FIDE. Let me just stress, as you go up the ladder, you're starting to notice more and more people are going to be using their OTB rating, right? Okay, so here we go. You can see Dr. Otakon's on it, dude. He's graduated numerous times. Before he was using the ChessCom rating, you can see he was flying up there as well. All right, Swiss Adult Improver, great. Clubs. How about a doctor, give us a Swiss or give us the town you're in, buddy. You know? All right, here we go. Games. My games. All right. Now, this is from 426. Let me just see if he's put it. That's 329. So maybe he doesn't have a recent game here. Let's go look at this one. Times? We don't got any times here. Okay, no, but, oh, Dr. Otakon. I have a vague memory, Doctor, that you weren't doing annotations here. No, you did want some here. Okay, so this is a rated classical game. Okay, I take it back. I take it back. That was just that one game. The good doctor is using his time here, as is his opponent. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, so we'll go game review. Mark it. There we go. Good. Little weird, this bishop d3 move. c5. I don't know about c5. de4 is the standard thing. ed5. This is interesting. Queen d5. Knight c3 with a dirty trick, dude. Look at that. Knight c3 exclam. Oh, I'm very impressed. Look at his dirty trick, dude. Queen g2, bishop e4, and the queen is gone. That is a dirty trick, man. Woo. All right, so he thought for 2.5 minutes plus, played queen d4, and now knight b5 looks hard to deal with. And his great variation here is queen d8, bishop f4, queen e2, and castle long. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so knight b5, queen b4, and now he does think for 2 minutes. But the bummer here, right, is bishop d2 is winning the ball game completamento. Okay, let's read what he writes. Was looking at bishop d2 during the game, but opted for the safer move, which was clearly a mistake. Against higher-rated opponents, I tend to choose the seemingly safe option if I can't calculate deep enough. Okay, good notes. And we just got to say, bishop d2, that's game. It's already over, right? It's all the way over. Grandmaster GIF says, I don't think 50 minutes and 5-second delay is appropriate. I don't either. I don't know where you saw that. Is that what he's doing here? He's doing 1 + 30, which is the recommended time control for the dojo. Okay, so c3. Good. Now you're still doing great. I still like the white position. It's just that, we were crushing with bishop d2. Good. Knight d6. Now, I'm glad you thought about this. I would want to really consider queen e2 because black can't take, or at least they shouldn't take. And queen e2 is a good developing move anyways. With knight d6, you probably still have compensation, but your bishop's going to get molested over here. And maybe you missed this. And now we don't want to take that stupid knight because that's knight stupid. Queen a6, and now he's kind of messing with us a little bit. Knight e5, knight f6. You think for 10 minutes on knight d7, we need more annotations here. Knight d7, bishop g3, rook d8. Now we're just simply in trouble. Bishop h4, okay. Knight f6, queen f3. And now black makes a mistake with queen d3. One of the things to notice here is king e7 is a great annotation. And the thing black needed to think about was, wait a second, white's king is hosed. White's king is hosed, so I'm not worried about anything happening to me on f6. And that's the challenging move. Can you take it? And now your opponent kind of freaks out here and plays queen d2 check and gives you a draw. Now the weird thing is though, let's say we start from this position. Well, I don't know, let's just put it here. Don't we believe that black is much better after castles? Yeah, I believe it. Well, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Of course, black's crushing here. This rook no puedo play. He no puedo play. So I think you got away with one, as did your opponent. As did your opponent. Interesting, you're playing this higher rated player, didn't go for it. I mean, honestly, you're playing someone lower rated positions. If you think it's equal, you should go for it on principle. Here, dude, you got to just be like, it's time for this. It's time for him to go. It's time for him to die. So, as I said, Grandmaster Gifts, you can play in our tournament. Okay, here we go. Boom. That was Dr. Otakon. Now we have another familiar customer at the dojo, and that is Giorgio. Giorgio says, this graduation was faster than the others. I was having trouble concentrating for the whole game in the 30 plus 20 and 60-30 formats, so I started to do some 1-hour tactic sessions, and I think I am able to keep the focus better now. Also trying to do some endgame study every day. I think this has helped me save some draws the last weeks. Can I look at this match? Okay, I can do that. So first we'll do a little copy and paste. Excuse me. Am I ever going to be done today? No. All right, let's go look at Giorgio. So just started playing more regularly 2023. So he's getting serious now. A little off and on with the registering of stuff in the heat map. But overall, nice progress. Yeah. Had a big jump over here recently. Okay, do we got the clubs? Norway, that's what we like. We got 20 people in Norway. This is great. Okay, now games, we already know which ones. We're going to just copy and paste that bad boy. Boom. What do we got? All right, here we go. Boom. Here is our time graph. Now, Giorgio, this is a little bit fast for where you are, right? So really we want a slower time control for you. We're going to guess you're playing somebody online here, and they didn't think at all. So even as we progress up the dojo, you're a pretty strong player now, Giorgio. You're at the 1400. You're still going to be playing chumps in the online sphere that aren't using their time. Okay, so here we go. All right. Just click, click, click. Fine. Okay. 94, good move. This is poor. You're doing great. You're doing great. Good. Now, bishop d6 might be stronger, but I like bishop e7, and I like your position here in general. c3 looks a little soft to me. d4. And you played bishop e6. c5 looks to me the thing. So you got the two bishops. You should strive to open the position. Okay. Queen e2. Black. White isn't thinking. White is not thinking. Good. Okay. Let's give it to him. If he wants this, he can have it. It looks like a blunder. Boom. Why did he blunder? Why did White blunder? Because he did not think. Okay. It's that simple. Thank you very much. Random threats from random players. That's not going to do anything. Yeah. No one knows what he's doing. Very good. Fine. Okay. I would have just given my king a little luft just because I'm a weenie, I would have given him still a little luft. I'm a little frightened, I got fears. What are we doing, knight h2? Oh, no. What are we doing? Wait. You got plenty of time left here, buddy. You got 7 minutes and 20 seconds and you lose your mind. Okay, let's go back a second. All right, so you're clearly winning in this position, okay? f4, fine. Queen d2, fine. Knight d6. Now, knight g4, we got to think about this for a second. what are we really doing, right? You need to fix your king. So a move like h6. That's the only way you're going to lose this game. Right? Just fix the king, and then we're fine. Now you start some adventure. Knight f3. Bishop c7. Just fix your king, Bows. Just fix it. He should play knight takes b7. b3, no one understands. Okay? Now, aren't we, though, now in a touch of trouble after this b6, knight b5? All of a sudden, we've lost our minds a little bit. By the way, what was the main reason this happened? Because we didn't fix our king. Oh, no. Oh, now we're just hosed. And so knight h2 was complete panic. And, yeah, you got to do something else. The milk has gone bad, though, here. We got to say it. It's gone horrible. Oh, that was painful. That was painful, especially because you're playing some chump that isn't thinking, right? That was painful. Okay, so look, a key skill is when you are up a piece, you just need to consolidate. You need to learn how to consolidate the position. When you just look here, white has no threats. No threats, right? You're just completely crushing here. And so you want to do things like fixing your king. Don't let him take your coconuts. And so it's a skill, though, that you got to get good at, right? So that's something just to be aware of. And the fact that you panicked, well, it's kind of, that's something just to be aware of, that's something that's going on. We've seen other panic games in the dojo, too. As somebody said in the chat, a key difference with higher rated players is, we're all going to make mistakes, but after we do, it's going to be some resilience after we do make the mistake. Okay, LG Double Double says, I blasted through this cohort in only a month, and my rating is still flying up. Currently on a 9-game win streak on Lead Chess Classical. What was most helpful for me this time was providing feedback to lower-rated players, especially on endgames. Great! It helped solidify my understanding, and I now feel confident entering endgames. I no longer feel the need to win in the middle game at all costs, and I've swindled wins out of drawn endgames multiple times. Beautiful. Okay, one thing I really want to stress that I like about this comment is it's a key part of the dojo. One of the principles of the dojo is the principle of plus minus equal. And I think a lot of people might not understand the value of the minus. The minus is you teaching something to somebody lower rated than you. And that's what LG Double Double is saying, right? You teach it, and then you are going to become more clear in your understanding of what is going on in the game. And the plus minus equal applies to learning anything, right? I don't care if it's chess or whatever it is. So here we go, LG Double Double. Boom. All right, 1540 streams on Twitch sometimes. Great. Oh, that's cool. By the way, LG Double Double, if you are doing it a lot, you can become a dojo affiliate. You can maybe make a little bit money on the side. And so contact like DM Hokie, and we'll set you up, buddy. Okay, so this is LG Double Double 1540, looking great, and his heat map also looking strong. Joined in 24, but it looks like in terms of the heat map, just in the last couple months, he's starting to take it seriously. All right, we got a Seattle dojo. There we go, 24 members, Seattle. Seattle, by the way, Yaz's hometown. It used to be really kind of a chess center. I'm sure there's still some chess there, but back in the day, that was one of the little hubs of chess in the United States. And that was before Seattle became, Microsoftville and all that other stuff. Okay, let's go take a look. LG Double Double games. My games. Now, I'm sure LG Double Double means something. I don't know. Large Double Double. I don't know what it means. Someone in chat maybe tell me what LG Double Double means. I'm too old. All right, here we go. Do we got a time graph? We do. Now let's look at LG Double Double, my friends. This is an elite chess game. He's playing some chump. And LG, like that GM level time usage, right? I think we had a question earlier, what is the time management rating? This is what it's looking like. So we're able to identify good time management and bad ones. And you can tell Black is just not using their time here. Double Double is a Canadian order at Tim Hortons. 2 cream, 2 sugars. Okay. I wonder if that's really true. Maybe it is. Maybe they took it over in Seattle. The old Tim Hortons. They got a Tim Hortons in Seattle. That's right. Biobibiciously. I got 2,800 blitz yesterday. I still don't know how to pre-move. Bam, bam. Got it, buddy. Old man got the 2,800. I'll never play blitz again. Maybe someday. But basically, that was a quest, and that quest is over. Okay, so let's go. What do we got? We got to go game review. And we are hoping that he smacks this guy because he's not thinking at all. Got a little funky. Good move. Good move. C5. Okay, good move. You don't have to be a genius. Just move out your guys. Great. Okay, bishop E2. Maybe I like bishop D3 a little bit more, but okay, bishop E2, D6. Okay, castles, you're just developing. Good. Knight F6, rook E1. I kind of like it too. You say double question mark, and that's hard for me to believe that it's actually a double question mark. You say being fancy, trying to avoid playing F3 and weakening the king. And you say, I needed to play F3 anyway, so this was just wasted time calculating for no reason. So let me just say, if I was Black, I would be very hesitant to take that pawn. I don't know if I want to take that pawn. I got real questions about me taking that pawn. I got real questions if I should be taking that pawn. You talk about E5. Now, what's the point? Black has lost a lot of time. So if they take the pawn, the drama is that we are going to be able to use the tempi to open up the position. Now, you do some great analysis here, and maybe E5 is strong, and you look at knight B3. You look at other moves too. Also knight F5. Now, maybe the real problem is your knight doesn't have a great square to go to. That's very true. So if I'm going to believe in Black's position, it's not so much they're winning a pawn, it's because our knight doesn't know where to go to. Okay. So first we'll look at knight B3. Snip, snop, snip. Bishop F3. Now, at the bare minimum, couldn't you just play here? And you say bishop G2. I don't know. Bishop B5, check. Bishop C6, excuse me. Bishop C6. And I'm just a little concerned for his soul, that's all. I have knight D4, and maybe I have queen D5. Just saying, he hasn't solved his problems yet. The man has not developed his coconuts. He's not done. So I just want to stress that your rook E1 move, I don't know if it's a mistake. Because F3, you're surrendering your development advantage. If I was going to criticize something, it would be in this position, after A6, I would want to play this setup because I don't want to defend the pawn. I don't want to spend the tempo defending the pawn. Okay, so let's continue. Dude doesn't do it. And now this happens, and you calmly go back and you call this equal. Okay, I'd rather be white. E6. Now F3 I don't like. You write, I'm not sure when, but it feels like my advantage has slipped away by now. Okay, so let's talk basics about the Sicilian for a second. In the Sicilian, black, especially a structure like this, the Scheveningen, black is going to be down 1,000 tempi, and white is going to have to do something with those tempi. Okay? It's not always easy to figure out what to do. F3 is really falling into the trap where black has got something. For example, this C2 pawn isn't working. He has got immense central control with all these pawns, They got all these squares, right? He's got all the squares. And because he's got all the squares, if we don't do anything to him, we are eventually going to get hurt. Okay? Now, it might look insane, but I think G4, for example, would be interesting here. We want to undevelop black's knight. It's a standard idea. Maybe play bishop G2 later. We got to start some drama, though. It's a key to understand. We must start the drama. Okay, so here we go. F3, a little soft. Bishop E3. Fine. Okay, now we are gonna be a little worse in standard Sicilian style with knight E5. Okay, it's fine. Queen F2, still knight E5. He misses it. I don't like rook FD8, doesn't belong there. Fine. Queen B8, okay. Good. Now it's going to be difficult for him to play knight E5. Okay, now we're going to be okay. And you say knight D2 exclam. To my mind, we should be taking that knight. We should be taking that knight. All right, so. I think black is doing great now. D5, you talk about E5. Maybe he can play queen E5, but is this an advantage for white? I kind of doubt it. Right? Bare minimum, I got this one, and I'm opening up all my pieces. So I think knight D2 is too ambitious. We need to take this thing, and I think black's best chance is this move, but it's at least a complicated position. Okay, so knight D2, D5 takes. Now he's just better. We got now problems here. Okay, rook takes. Probably could play bishop takes. B3. Okay. H6. You talk about knight D. By the way, I really appreciate LG your notes here, right? Even if I disagree with some of the evaluations, that's not the point. You're doing the work of like, how do I evaluate the position? Okay. So, you don't like H6. What do you like? You look at knight D7, rook CD8. Yeah, there's a bunch of moves he could do. All right, H6. This is your dream. This is your dream. All right, B5. Check to the miserable rook. Rook D1, and now an exclam move. Boom. Very nice. And I guess you're winning now, because we have the in-between check, and then the knight will be hanging if he plays rook takes E1. So he says, I'd rather suffer, and you says, okay, you can suffer. That's okay with me. That might be a strong move, B4. Good move. Probably a good move. Probably a good move, yeah. Simple chess, good. Yeah, that's not it. Bishop C4, E5, he's lost his mind. Bishop C5, and now it's over. Great! Now, can I just say what, to me, the summary of this game is? Let me tell you what I think the summary is. It's this. The guy wasn't thinking. He wasn't thinking at all. That chump was just moving. You kidding me? Why are you learning some fancy Sicilian Bashmillion? You haven't learned to think yet, Mouse. Come on now. Come on now. So congratulations, large double-double. That's the way we treat them over here at the dojo. All right. I'm going to take a small break, and then we got 4 more left. The big boys are on here.
Welcome
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine
That
did he
ain't
hack, and
Mouse.
he got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truon. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, waiting's what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic.
We are back with the grad show, and we got Juzmil saying, I'm very excited to have finally graduated from the 14-15. It took me longer than anticipated, but the journey has been worth it. I have always appreciated the detailed list of training options available at each level recommended by the dojo. Quite frankly, that variety and active community are what kept me coming back to the dojo during my plateau and other adult improver programs available. I have to attribute my latest rating jump to studying a beginner opening repertoire, allowed in my cohort, very good. Not because I memorized a ton of lines, but rather I saw examples of how to get my pieces out to active squares ASAP in ways I've never even considered. Hearing Jesse harping on that pawns aren't people and the importance of mastering time in chess being key at my level are easier concepts to understand now. Brilliant. With that being said, I know tactics and blunders are what make the true difference at my level, and I'm trying my best to be more vigilant while making sure to enjoy myself along the way. Okay, brilliant, Juzmil. Juzmil, of course, has graduated numerous times here and is doing the work. Oh, very nice. So, 43 years old, Greenville, North Carolina. Okay, we're going to see if he's got a Greenville club, and then if he doesn't, we're going to beg him to start one. You can see that he is doing the work, my friends. This man is doing his work. And it's paying off. Look at this. Look at this rating graph. Dude, he's flying up here. Okay, clubs. Eastern North Carolina Dojos. I'm into it. I'm not an expert in North Carolina. Greenville, in my mind, is kind of like North Central. But I don't know how they talk about it. To me, Eastern North Carolina is Asheville. No, that's Western, you fool. You fool. Oh, man, a long dojo show, and I can't even get my directions straight. Yeah, but anyways, Eastern then, Greenville, I just imagine in my head is in the middle. And then I would call Eastern like those college towns, you know. Okay. I don't know North Carolina well. I am going there, though. I'm going there to Charlotte U.S. Masters in November, so that'll be fun. I think Coach is going, too. Games. Boom. All All right, so fairly recent game. This is a 1400 opponent. Notice as we go up, we're going to be playing more and more OTB. I don't know what's going on with this time graph. I don't know. Something weird's going on. No one knows. So we'll go game review. He says, final round of a local tourney. You will see that my opponent spent very little time. Oh, maybe that time graph was real. Okay. I've played him in the past where his quick play has gotten the best of me, but this time I was able to take advantage of their brief calculations and secure the win. Here we go. Okay, fine. Poor, not developing. Good. Poor, not developing. Good. Fine. Poor. Waste of time on my part. I didn't want double pawns. So notice, actually, it's interesting what Juzmil said. But we'll go back here for a sec. Hearing Jesse harping on that pawns are people. And then, oh no! We get over here and then clearly a move which believes that pawns are people. Yeah. So, any developing move is going to be a much better position for white here. Bishop d3, bishop e2, bishop c4. Okay, you're still doing okay. d5. Now it's a little annoying, isn't it? E takes. Okay. That's probably a mistake. I would want you to take back with the pawn here. And black should take now with the bishop. The problem with taking the bishop is dude could probably play knight takes d5. Check to the miserable. That wasn't it. Boom. You blunderbuss. You blunderbuss. You should have thought first. Kid. 1400 kid. Welcome to the dojo. Oh, it's just over crispy critters now. Oh, man. Look at this, dude. Look at that queen e6. Exclam, exclam. Queen g6. Bang. There we go. That was a real welcome to the dojo moment. That's what they get. That's what they get. So notice, this is something we did a deep dive on different cohorts and their time management. Definitely true that online play, they move quicker, but you still get weaker players. And this guy's not that weak. He's 1400. But you see players at this level still not able to use their time. In general, once you get up to around 1900, that's when you find people who are truly, it's rare for them to just be blitzing out like this kid did here. And so one of the points to just say, I know I said it already, I'm just going to stress it, is that one of the key paths to improvement is realizing, oh, these people aren't going to think. They're not going to develop their coconuts. Both things happen with this 1400 player. And so your progress is just paved with the souls of these poor children. Paved, I'm telling you, paved. Okay, well done. So, we're going to continue. Next up, we got Robin. I'll go over here. Robin is the chess boxer from the Netherlands. Oh, that's cool, dude. So I played this guy in DC, this very recent tournament. Oh, he's a GM, and I'm spacing on his name. But he was a chess boxer, and there was one match I found of his online. Oh, gosh, no. Oh, God. Salah? Is that right? No, it's not Salah. Hold on. Chess boxer from Egypt. Sammy Shoker. That's right, Sammy Shoker. That guy was amazing. We had an incredible fight, and then I watched his chess boxing match. He wasn't like a trained boxer, but he was giving the guy the business both in the ring and on the board. And that was a cool match to watch, dude. So anyways, Robin here is a chess boxer. Clearly, if he's playing Sammy Shoker, it's a real bummer. You're playing some GM. You better knock him out in the ring, buddy. Either that or get our rating up, right? Okay, so he's joined recently. This is great. We got clubs. Are you in the Dutch dojo, buddy? You could get in that get in that Dutch dojo. Maybe tell us exactly where you're from. Maybe you're from Rotterdam. Okay, games. My games. Nothing. He just joined. We understand. That's the way it is sometimes. Okay, bam. Next up, World Chess Champion 2032. Well, that's ambitious. 2032 is not that far away. So, tell us a little bit more who you are. Joined in May of this year. A little sporadic with the logging of stuff. Got up to 2275 ChessCom. Now, what we want to say, very important, is that once you cross 2,000, you shouldn't be using an online rating. And let me explain why. Because, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, you're going to really need deep OTB work to improve. But also, at 2275, I know this from experience of my students, you aren't going to be, you're just, the level of cheaters you're getting is just, it's out of control. It's out of control. Anything over 2,000 on ChessCom, just incredible cheaters going on. And a lot, and the stronger players aren't playing longer games on ChessCom or Lichess, right? It's the cheaters who are. So that's a real problem. Okay, so let's go look. Clubs, Asian, Agart's Omni, great. Okay, games, my games. Okay, this looks like an online game. Okay, so we got a time graph. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So you see, my friends, you see, it's like, it's a disease that afflicts also the higher rated. Now, the disease, especially when you get to these higher cohorts and you're playing, you're playing online, you're going to get distracted. That's going to lead to impulsive decisions, and that's going to lead to a time graph like this. Okay, both players just totally out to lunch. Okay, here we go. Game review. Fine. Oh, it's probably playable. I don't like it too much because you're giving the c3 square to the knight. And my impression is that bishop e2 is the way for white to play here. But white's not thinking it at all. So boom, 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 boom. Okay. So in the OTB game, his opponent played d5 here. And he gives some good analysis here with d5, knight d4, and then what move does he want here? So if it's not bishop d3 though, what is it? Is it, I don't understand actually. Here? I'm having a hard time understanding this though, bishop f4. Oh, because look at this, knight c2, king d2, knight a1, bishop b5. And he says it's plus minus. Dang. That's truly next level. One question I have too is if we go to this position, I would also be interested in analyzing king d8. Now maybe, so he says, I know that my last few are not the best, but I feel this line is drawish. Okay, so he's had this opening before, so we're going to give him a little bit of a pass of moving too quickly here. So let's just presume he knew all this stuff. So D5 followed by knight D4, bishop F4 is a next level drug. That's a next level drug. Clearly, that's something that only the computer would come up with. And then he gives this move. Amazing position. And then he calls it roughly equal after a couple moves. Okay, so bishop B5. Now maybe it's just toast. Check. Looks strong. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. And now we are, I guess we'll say we're winning. He's not doing anything. King D5, that's a little weird. I was thinking about this continuation, but my opponent thought this position is hopeless, so he resigned after rook D2 for a new game. So he actually resigned here. You know what he could have done? He could have spent some time on his game. Yeah. Okay, so mild apologies to World Chess Champion about the time graph. His opponent gets no excuse, but because look at this, he's got 131 left here, but he has a mild excuse because he had seen this opening variation before. So again, the thing that you're going to need to do, and I know this might be hard. It might be hard to even understand why I'm saying it, why it's so important. For your chess progress, World Chess Champion 2032, you need to get yourself an OTB rating. Muy importante. Okay, so we're going to go back. We got one more, the famous Master Toaster. Master Toaster's graduated numerous times, and let's read what he says. I could have graduated last month already, but wanted to wait until my next tournament to see if I could maintain my rating above 2200. As I gained another 28 points, it feels safe to graduate. If you look at my profile, you will see that I haven't been very active with my tasks. So the biggest reason why I surpassed the 2000 barrier comes down to two things, I think. First and foremost, I try to play a lot of games. Secondly, I am following private lessons with somebody. I feel this has definitely helped me in prioritizing certain aspects of the game while I used to hop from one topic to the next. And while you don't see the hours logged for the tasks, I have been busy with calculation and positional exercises under influence from my coach. But I have been terrible in logging these hours. Another thing is that I've found it difficult to find the time to analyze my games the dojo way, hence the low number of games you'll find. I do look at my games, of course, but not in as much detail as I should or want. In any case, if you want to look at a game, take a closer look against Benny Willen, which I've annotated for the most part. Very happy to have finally graduated above 2,000 FIDE. I tried not to care too much about my rating, but it was always a goal of mine to get above 2,000, so it feels good to get it, absolutely. For now, I hope I can validate that I can play at this level and improve further without looking too much at rating goals. Master Toaster, that is great too. That is great. Now, I just want to point out, not all graduations are equal. This man is graduating to a very high level and did a lot of work to get there. So very impressive. And let's go look at Master Toaster. 28 years old from Belgium. Okay, great. Now he's saying he's got a coach. He's logging it kind of sporadically. I think even with the coach, it's really going to help you to do it, to log it. Now, you see with this ChessCom, he's really exploded. And I'm going to guess he maybe switched to FIDE. I don't know when he switched to FIDE, but he's had some great success there. Getting above 2,000, of course, massive gains. Massive gains. Okay, so one of the things to stress is even if you, let's say you got a coach and your coach has got a special program that you want to follow, you can create custom tasks and log it all here, and then you can really gain a sense of what you're doing because you'll be able to look back and be like, oh, this is this is what I'm doing. And also it'll give you a sense of what your buckets look like when you log it too, because it'll tell you the nature of the buckets. Okay, so here we go. Clubs. Do we got a Belgian club? Belgian Dojo. There we go. Looking good. So, games. I think he said Willen was the guy's name. Benny Willen. Okay. That sounds like a Dutch name. I mean, a Belgian name. Okay, so it's going to be in OTB game. Do we got times? We do. So, if you're in a lower cohort and you're watching this, I want you to just see this. You start playing serious chess, it gets a little longer, and this dude got 30 minutes even added on a little bit later. Notice as well that both players are taking their time, and if we are going to criticize their time usage, it's that they're going too slow. So let me just say again, the problem at the lower cohorts, and the main reason we did this time management rating, is people are moving too fast. As people get stronger, like Bert van Hecke here, they start moving maybe a little too slow, and I have to rein that in. Okay, so here we go, game review. So, good, fine, weird. A logical move, but not in the spirit of the Dutch. More standard would be to play d3 and knight bd2. I agree. So d5 looks strong now. Good. And now white has to really worry about d4 coming. Okay, d3. Can't be bad. And now you whack him with d4. You know what? I think I've even had maybe this position myself here. Yeah, this is bad news. It's hard to know what to do. Definitely knight d1 is not fun. That rhymed. Knight d1 is not fun. So knight e4. And now you took it and you mentioned knight d5. Exclam. Good annotations. Beautiful. The point is quite clear. Like if they take on c5, then de3 looks like the end because we're threatening f4 as well. And well, if they take on d4, we're just clearly killing him too. So, knight e4, 3 minutes spent. Okay. Bishop d1. That's a very typical Dutch move. I'm not talking Dutch the country, I'm talking Dutch the opening. And now d3. So, the only move that made sense, but again, a bit angry at myself that I spent so much time on it. Well, I understand, though, because after c3, your pawn is beautiful, but if you go back to c6, it's not clear what the knight is going to do after that, right? My intuition would be to play knight c2, by the way. So this line that you give. And I would say, I think I would rather be black here. Right? Because your unopposed light square bishop is such a beast. He'll probably eventually have to play e5, and that's just going to make the thing stronger. Okay, but I'm sure this is still fine for you. And c4 looks very incorrectamundo because for one, it's a pawns are people move. He's thinking, oh, I'm going to isolate that d3 pawn and then somehow I'm going to win it. Nobody. No, you need to develop your coconuts, kid. You need to get them out. So we developed, thank you very much. I think he's in trouble now. Knight d2 and simple chess. Goodbye. Bishop b3. Knight b3. And you talk about queen d7. Your position's massive after knight b3, so we can't complain too much. But yeah, queen d7 is more flexible because white just can't even move. Okay. That's a sad looking move. Boom. Good move. Simple and strong. I love your play here. You talk about b4. I like rook a, b8. He's not developed. Let's open him up on the light squares. Yeah. Queen g5. So look, he's just obsessed with playing something like f5. You send him home. Rook b6. This is okay, but more to the point was again to play either a5 or bishop g4 with the same ideas as before. Yeah, so to my mind, a5, we want to crack the light squares open. That's what I want. h3, no one knows. Fine. No one knows. Probably fine. You talk about f6. Okay. It's probably okay. I still like a5, a4. Crack him on the light squares. He's not doing anything to you. And now white is completely back in the game, and you didn't play bishop c4. Let's talk about this. Bishop c4. My idea doesn't work due to bishop a3, but incredibly I should still go for it as my best chance. Now hold on. Yeah, you talk about a5. Good. So rook b4. I guess what we're going to say here, because you did spend 4.5 minutes, is that you misevaluated b3. And you were like, I'm simply going to play bishop c4. Then when you got here, you're like, oh, I don't want it. But all of a sudden, what's going on here is your unopposed light square bishop is finding it difficult to crack open the light squares. And that's been the strategic trump that you've been playing for this entire time. And so this thing is it's a little bit of a pawns or people because you took on c4. And it's a little bit of missing bishop a3. And right, maybe you have to go for it now. Because who knows who's better now. Notice both of your bishops are now locked out. Simple chess. And now we can't achieve a5, a4 easily. I don't understand that move. Maybe I do. Now we don't know what to do anymore. Bishop c6, right. Here it dawned on me that while I did not lose a pawn, I am in huge trouble as my bishop on b3 is trapped and in danger of being lost. Furthermore, this guy isn't playing. Very nice play from Benny. Benny played a nasty game up until this point, but now rook dc1. I like it a lot. Yep, we're in trouble. All right. So Benny now loses his mind and plays rook a5. If I go back to that time graph, they're in a little bit of trouble. We are in worse trouble than they are, though. Very typical to see mistakes once we get to this level of time. Don't understand? Fine. Queen c5. And now you talk about rook c6. Very good. And then the problem with that whole thing, too, by the way, is he's letting the bishop back. Bishop's still in trouble. Yep. No, that's not it. Oh, man. Whew. Man. Okay. A frustrating loss. I was a lot better out of the opening, but misplayed it and then completely lost the plot in time trouble. Actually, let's go look at the time graph just for a sec. Something that we should appreciate is when you get a weird opening, okay, where something like the Dutch or the bird, and you can see that neither player had a clear sense of what to do. A lot of times you'll get in hectic time pressure, and the reason to really accentuate it in your notes is just to realize, oh, the second you're in that situation during a game, and what situation do I mean? Some kind of madness, like, I don't know, let's start, let's go back up here. Let's go back to the screen, excuse me. Some kind of position like this. You'd be like, okay, we're at move 9. On move d4, I already cranked 7 minutes. On move 8, he cranked queen e1. It's 12 minutes. 7 d3 was 7 minutes. Knight c6, 5 minutes. You got to say to yourself, oh, I know how this is going to go. This is going to be a big time scramble. That's just the way it's going to go down, right? Once you say that to yourself, it's like, okay, let's pick up the pace, buddy. Let's pick up the pace. Okay. In general, though, we want to say, Bet, that was great, dude. That was, your graduation. Absolutely amazing. And one of the big, just let's call them long-term goals for the dojo, is we want to get more players like you involved with the dojo. So higher cohorts, having more members. One of the reasons we don't have as many members in the higher cohorts is simply there are just less. There are just less higher rated players than there are lower rated players. But also, we are working hard to get those players into the dojo. And it's really cool to see you're kind of like a homegrown talent here, in the sense that, you have made it from below and now come up. And so that's another cool thing, is that we're getting homegrown talent. Let's go quickly look full dojo, and I just want to look at your 2100 cohort and see. And also, first let's start with 2000 cohort. These are the active members. Dude, we got a lot of people. These are the active members. So that is beautiful. We got 30 active members in 2000, 2100. What do we got in 21, 22? See, we have less. We got the famous Buck Duck. Yeah, so this is pretty great. And No Brew. Actually, I don't know if I know No Brew. So that's looking good as well. All right, my friends, it's been a long show. It's been a very long show. It's time for me to get out of here. Hi, Alvin Cruz. Oh, man. It's almost 3 hours. Oh, I'm losing my mind. So we're going to raid somebody. Who are we going to raid? Who is Key Whiskey? I don't know. Let's go raid Key Whiskey. I don't know who they are. They're just chatting, they say. Who knows who Key Whiskey is? Oh my gosh. Big news, though, before I go. This FIDE qualification thing starts early tomorrow morning. And the dojo has aspirations to cover it. We're going to see how it goes. I can definitely do the first. I'll do several hours tomorrow. I think Bruce is a madman. He's on East Coast time. For me, it starts at 6 a.m. He's on East Coast time, so it starts at 3. Will he actually get up? I kind of doubt it. Okay. But I am intending to be up and running when that goes down. And so you might see us just losing our minds now for ages doing this tournament, which is going to go for a very, very long time. Okay, let's rate them. Boom.